listening to A State of the Union, Estate Planning Made Simple. Here's your host, Brad Wiewel, from Texas Trust Law in Austin, Texas.
Hi, this is Brad Wiewel with the State of the Union, and this is our podcast of Texas Trust Law. We try to provide you with legal topics and community topics and things just to think about. And today we have Alan Graham, who is the CEO and founder of Loaves and Fishes and Community First. This is the renowned premier ministry for homeless people in Austin, Texas. And Alan has graced us with his presence. He's a very, very busy guy, and the problem of homelessness is so big, Alan. Thanks for coming.
We really great to be here, Brad. Thank you.
We appreciate your time a lot. Tell us, you can't drive down any street without seeing a homeless person. Why? What's the greatest cause of homelessness?
Well, fundamentally, Brad, we believe that the single greatest cause of homelessness is a profound, catastrophic loss of family.
Oh, wow, that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah, so when you think about the issues that exacerbate homelessness, which would be mental health issues, addiction issues, physical health issues, those exist in every one of our families. There's not anyone listening to this podcast right now that doesn't have that inside their family.
Somewhere in there, right.
Somewhere in there,
Yep.
And they're managing that that deal, no matter how dysfunctional it becomes.
Sure,
I'm not denying the dysfunction, but that is our first safety net. When that fails, and the forged family, the people that are around the nucleus of the family, when all that breaks down and fails, then it becomes a responsibility of someone else to take care of. And that population is actually extraordinarily small relative to the size of our country. Less than 1% of 1%, Brad.
Wow. So 1/10 of 1%, but it seems like it's a lot bigger. Is it because it's so visible?
It's so visible and frankly painful for us. And today we get to see it every day. Those numbers have grown, obviously. So it was probably 0.2 of 1% at some point in time.
Well, but in Austin, I think we're kind of a mecca. It seems like. Are we a mecca more than maybe a San Antonio?
No,
or a
that's
Dallas
pretty much a.
Is that a myth?
No, those are urban myths.
Okay.
Primarily, nobody's coming from Houston or Dallas or Minneapolis to come and live in Austin, Texas.
Okay, that's interesting too.
Yeah.
All right, because I do think there's talk out there. You know, we're too lenient, we're too liberal, blah 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 blah. But that's not necessarily true.
That's not true.
That's interesting. So on the estate planning side, folks, we and I did family law for 10 years before I started doing estate planning. You see these issues in families, and ultimately what can happen with somebody who is troubled and causing trouble in the family is a lot of times they don't get an inheritance. A lot of times they're disinherited.
Yeah.
And so the family is the safety net, but if it's broken, either it broke because of years of extraneous circumstances, or it broke because this person just flat out wanted to break it and did break it, then they end up oftentimes on the street.
Yeah, and the issue, Brad, is really extraordinarily complex for families. So, whatever I say, there's no judgment on my part.
I understand it.
But once we cut somebody loose, to who or to whom do we abdicate that responsibility to?
Okay.
Now, I don't want people that are listening to this to go, "Oh my God, I hate hearing that." And it's such a problem to have John Smith as my brother because he creates so many problems. But the reality, when we cut them loose, who or whom takes on that responsibility?
Well, I'm going to give you this other thing. So we deal with people all the way. We're a consumer practice.
Yeah.
And we've got some clients come in and say, well, dang it, get your bootstraps out and get on. It's not my responsibility, it's their responsibility. They dropped the ball, it's their fault. I don't give a darn.
Yeah.
How do you respond to that?
Well, typically, when you look at the profound catastrophic loss of family, and you look at it particularly in the context of the men and women that we serve in the village, they come from a foundation of trauma that is almost beyond human understanding.
Okay, interesting.
And so most well, almost no one's coming from a family like the Wiewel family.
Okay.
Okay?
Sure.
So something along the way has happened. There's a great book written by Oprah Winfrey with Dr. Bruce Perry out of Houston, Texas, a neuro MD, PhD guy. And it talks about this trauma and how foundational this trauma is, especially in the first few months of life. And so when you talk to our neighbors, it's pretty incredible and frankly violent.
Well, it's interesting too, because most of our clients, and me included, live west of Mopac,
Yes.
you know? And when you live west of Mopac, the lawns are cut and they're watered green, even the worst drought, and we don't see as frequently. I mean, you hear about somebody, and some of your family, again, as you said, may have an issue, but yeah, no, I can understand that with just single parenthood now is so prominent and prevalent, and drugs and gambling. Good night.
Yeah.
It's. I read the other day that gambling addiction is up 30%. Because of all the online gambling and sports gambling and things like that too, and I could see where that could drive somebody into poverty and into bankruptcy and into divorce and into abandoning the children and
Yeah,
the whole
no,
thing.
all of that comes and piles on, and then you add physical, sexual, emotional abuse to the children, and it's
Foster care and
well, the foster care system is a complete train wreck, and we ought to call it for what it is. The average number of placements in the foster care system are about 17. So if you can imagine taking those three beautiful boys that are hanging on the wall in there, and then that they had to suffer through 17 different placements.
17 different placements.
Correct.
Wow.
Yeah.
How could you can't have an anchor. There is no.
Well, there's no anchor
Right.
in that deal. So, and then about 70% of all aged out foster folks are going to find their way into homelessness at some point in time in their life.
What was it?
70%.
70%. Okay. This is a big problem. Let me tell you what Alan is doing to try to help with this massive problem. You have founded two ministries for homelessness. One is Loaves and Fishes, and then you mentioned a minute ago, you might have heard of folks say, The Village, and that's the Community First Village. Would you talk about Loaves and Fishes first, because that was your first ministry?
Well, Loaves, there's only one organization.
Okay.
That's Loaves and
Okay.
Fishes. And so there's a three-legged stool within Loaves and Fishes.
Okay.
The truck ministry that began in 1998, 25 years
Okay.
ago, by the way,
Wow.
brother.
Wow.
Goes out on the streets every night and feeds the homeless where they are.
How many trucks?
Probably 12 or 13 in Austin, and
Okay.
then quite a few spread around the country that we
You have
spawned.
other groups that help?
They no longer operate under our 501c3,
Sure.
but we
You
spawn.
mentor them?
That's correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And then in 2004, we got this idea to buy gently used recreational vehicles and lift people up off the streets into privately owned RV parks.
Okay.
That turned into the Community First Village that began operations in 2015. We're currently 51 acres, about
51 acres.
540 homes, roughly.
540.
40, yeah.
Wow.
Under construction now on 51 additional acres across the street. And this summer, 76 acres over by the airport that will add about 1,400 homes.
My goodness.
Yeah, little old $200 million project.
Really?
Yeah.
$200 million.
$200 million.
How do you raise that kind of money?
We've raised about 140. It began as a 150 campaign, and then inflation has killed us in the construction industry. So
Sure.
it'll be about probably 210.
My goodness.
Look, the reality is that you know, as crazy as this sounds, that's not very much money. And so we have to really put money in perspective in the multi-trillion-dollar economy that we operate in. And secondly, if we want to mitigate these pandemics like homelessness, we're going to have to invest in these pandemics. And so what we do is we set the banquet table, Brad, and we invite people to come in and join us in the work that we're doing.
So it's a two-part thing there. I'm going to get to the second part in a minute. That's how anybody who's watching could help. But tell us what's going on in Community First. Is it, you take drunks off the street and just put them in a cab and send them out there? Or I'm sure it's got to be extraordinarily organized. So share with our viewers and listeners how it works.
Well, it is extraordinarily organized. Of that population of people that live out there, there's a group of us that have never been homeless.
Oh, right, I've heard that.
Yeah, so my wife and I have been there for 6.5 years. We raised our family in Westlake Hills, brother,
Yeah,
for
I remember
34
that.
years,
Yeah.
same house. This is the most extraordinary neighborhood I've ever been in.
Isn't
It's
it?
surrounded by people that are drug addicts, alcoholics, battling a behavioral health issue, physical, you name it, we got
Wow.
it.
Well,
Yeah.
is it safe out there?
Huh?
Is it safe?
Oh, completely, yeah.
Okay.
You know, it's got its own side salad attention, but I was talking to a friend of mine that was at dinner the other night in the village with us that lives in Terrytown, and, car theft is a big deal in Terrytown now.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Breaking into cars
All right.
and stealing the computers that are laying on the...
Isn't that, yeah, sure,
Yeah,
I believe that. I
yeah,
guess
yeah,
so. If
so-
I'm going to steal something, Terrytown would be a good place to start, wouldn't it?
I mean,
Yeah,
why not?
sure, right.
Go get somebody's MacBook Pro right off their front seat.
Right off the BMW, whatever? Sure.
That's
sure,
exactly
sure.
right. So, our place is not the gunfight at the OK Corral, but it's. I tell people it's the most peaceful place I've ever lived, with a
Okay.
side salad of tension.
You use that side salad term. That's an interesting term. Tell me about that.
Well, it's just our population are their average age 57 years old.
Okay.
Average time on the streets 9 years.
9 years.
9 years.
Wow.
2/3 self-report substance use, okay? 2/3 self-report behavioral health issues. We have physical health issues built on top of this trauma. So when you bring all that lagniappe, so to speak, into this gumbo that we call Community First Village, it sparks some interesting encounters. But I gotta tell you, at any given time, there's 400 people out there right now, give or take a few, and 15 or 20 give us a little bit of a run for our money.
Well, we'd have to say that around here too.
Well, I mean, HR here is busy.
No, busy, and we get people in that, that we can't help, that, are more challenging
Yeah.
than others.
Well, that's
Right.
exactly
It's
right.
human
So
nature. I mean, there you go.
It's human, and what we have done over time, which has actually been devastating to our culture, American
Okay.
culture, is we've separated ourselves from the others.
Well, we do. I mean, of course. I mean,
Yeah.
so here's my question. This may be the most important question, the most important answer you're going to hear from Alan Graham in this podcast. So listen up. Drive around, you're at an intersection, somebody approaches you with a sign or a plea, and you know they want something. The kind of, again, the conventional thought, I mean, if I'm watching these folks, maybe 1 out of 20 cars will open the window and give them something. Should we? And if we do, what should we?
Well, let's first understand why that exists.
Okay, that'd be
Okay.
great. Sure, thank you.
Yeah. Back in our day,
Mhm.
when I moved to Austin in 1976,
Okay.
out of the Houston, Texas
I got
area,
here in 78. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
there were no panhandlers standing on our street corner,
Mm.
Brad. There were men and women selling flowers,
Max
newspapers.
Knopfziger ended up on the city council, all that stuff. Right, they were selling something, right?
But selling something, cow skulls, cow skins, and I know
Mm-hmm.
your favorite Velvet Elvis art.
I love it. I
Yeah.
just love
Yeah.
it. We got one right behind the
Yeah.
wall here. Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
And we have outlawed all that, or made the occupational licensing requirements of those efforts so onerous for people who live in poverty that they just blow it off. So the only remaining bastion of entrepreneurialism left is the First Amendment free speech right to stand there and beg.
Isn't that interesting?
We the people, brother, when I say we the people, I'm talking about the constitutional we the people, have created that mess out there. Now, what do?
Right.
So when you understand that we created this and they're doing the best that they can to stand out there because we have engineered their purposefulness out.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
When you bring them into the village, last year, Brad, our neighbors earned over $1.5 million in dignified income by working and creating and selling in our village.
Is that right?
Yes.
So they
want to work.
You have a work program out there
Yeah.
that they can participate in.
And let me tell you, panhandling is an ass whipping deal.
Well, it's hot as heck.
Yeah, it's miserable.
No head covering. You get maybe a ball cap. Usually don't have that.
They don't make much money. They're not going out and buying. If they buy a Mercedes Benz, it's a 1982 for $500
Sure.
on the note lot.
Sure.
Down the street. I saw them driving a Mercedes or a Cadillac. Well, it's what year?
So, what sort of work do they do out there?
Say that again.
What sort of work do your
Well, we
residents
have
do?
artists, fine artists, the Van Goghs of the world live
Yeah,
on our streets. We have a ceramics operation. We have a jewelry making operation that has a tremendous partnership with Kendra Scott.
Now, how cool is that?
Yeah.
I did not know
Yeah.
that. All right,
Yeah.
very fascinating.
We
Okay.
have a car care business. We have an organic farming operation that men and women work on that farm. All of our property beautification, when you come out to the village and you look at our place, it's absolutely spotless.
How could somebody go out there?
Well, they just need to email us. You can go to our website. You can actually email me at Alan, ALAN, at MLF.org, and we will get you on a tour.
MLF.org, Mobile Loaves and Fishes.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that's.
So to me, look, on the street corner deal, make eye contact.
Sure.
Not that hard.
Sure.
They're not gonna jump in the car, and
Yeah, no, I actually have a little
And-
system, and I don't do it for all of them, but I think I share this. I usually don't share with anybody, but I go buy Whataburger and I used to do $5 gift cards. I do $10 gift cards now, because you can't buy anything at Whataburger for $5. You can't.
Yeah.
You can buy a burger and maybe a drink for $10. And then we've got these little Bibles that we pass out to our clients here, and I get those in my car, and I'll give them a little Bible, and I'll give them a little Whataburger gift card. And I guess my thought is on that, this may be all wrong, but that's something that they could eat, not buy booze with, I guess, is the concern I would have, and a little spiritual enlightenment too.
well, I think the key here is that your giving relationship. is-
And I'll talk to them, find out their name. I mean, what's
Yeah.
your name? I'm Joe, I'm Jim,
Yeah.
I'm Sally, whatever.
But your giving relationship is between you and God.
Mhm.
So once you release that gift,
Mhm.
it's a free will gift.
Mhm.
So they can take that $10 card.
Yep.
I'm gonna tell you,
They can sell it too.
and they will. Okay.
Oh, don't do that too.
Yeah, no, not a problem. Look,
No.
if you're
Back to
living,
free enterprise,
and this sounds crazy to people, but look, if you're living in that abject misery and you need to smoke some crack cocaine in
Yeah.
order to mitigate the pain
Right.
of living in that misery, go do it. I'm not here to make that judgment,
Right.
brother.
Or go buy a pack of Marlboro or whatever.
Yeah,
A
or a
six-pack of beer.
six-pack of beer.
Sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
go do it. So
That's interesting.
I
That's
don't,
really
and
interesting.
most of them are gonna get the Whataburger. I'm just telling you, they
Yeah,
like
it's- yeah.
Whataburger. So,
Sure, they do. No, I used to give out at McDonald's.
Yeah.
And Daryl, you might know a guy named Daryl's down by the St. Mary's Cathedral.
Yeah,
And he said, well, do you mind switching to Whataburger?
yeah.
I said, well, you're kind of picky. You
Yeah,
know, really,
right.
you're kind of dang picky, but I did, and yeah, everybody likes that Whataburger.
No, they do, yeah.
That's fascinating.
Yeah. So that's,
So where physically is Community First located at?
well,
It used to be, I mean, you think you're out by Long Lake, Walter Long
yeah.
Lake?
So we're about a half a mile as the crow flies from the Travis County Expo Center, but for where we're sitting right now at 1601 Rio Grande,
Right.
it is 7.5 miles from here.
Okay,
Out
okay.
at MLK.
Yeah. That's, yeah. So,
Yeah.
Huh.
So people go, oh, you're way out. And I go, wait, you hang on a second.
Well.
7.5 miles. Most people live further away. than
Sure,
that.
sure,
If you live in
sure.
Westlake, you live further away than.
Yeah, no, that's right. And,
Yeah.
and traffic, and pretty soon with the airport and Tesla and all that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's going to be downtown.
Yeah, no question.
Huh. All right, so how, I want to focus on how someone on the street would find Community First, and how do you interview them? How do they find you first?
Well, we have an organization here in town called ECHO. They're Indian
Okay.
Community Homelessness Coalition. And
Okay.
they operate and manage the Homeless Management Information System, which is a mandate from HUD.
Oh, okay, I didn't realize that. All right.
And that system has tens of thousands of records of individuals who have had touch points into the homeless service industry.
Okay, once they ask for help, get help, maybe get arrested for something, they end up in
Arrested,
the
medical
computer
care, shelters, case management,
Okay.
every kind of a touch point, they're in there. And there are a number of agencies that are in that system. We work with all of those agencies that are funneling and referring people through that system to us, and it's quite effective. You have to be chronically homeless, which is an unaccompanied, no children,
Right.
male or female, with a
Right.
disabling condition, physical, mental addiction.
Okay.
Having lived on the streets of the Central Texas area for at least 1 year,
Okay.
are episodically homeless, adding up to a year over 4 years.
So I get a part-time job, I got enough money to get an apartment, that's, now I'm on, but then that job goes away, now I'm back on the street again, that's the episodic thing you're
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about too.
But remember, our average, I said earlier, 9 years
did
on the
say
street.
that. You did
And
say
to
that.
hit that average, you're gonna have somebody at 1 year, and you got somebody else at 40 years
Wow.
that have
Huh.
lived on the streets.
Huh, huh. It,
Average age of death, by the way, in our community is 59 years old.
Is
They
that
come to
right?
us very sick, yeah.
I'll be darned, I'll be darned. How do you handle funeral arrangements with things like
Well, we, if you assign, the rights to your body
Uh-huh.
to us post-death, we will cremate you for free and inter your ashes and do a columbarium that's in the middle of our property.
Oh, no kidding?
It's a
Huh.
very special place.
That's
yeah.
really cool too.
Yeah.
That's very cool too.
Yeah.
Can people, residents drink or do drugs out there?
We want them to live just like you live in your house. So
All right.
nobody's coming into your house tonight to see if you and your
Oh, they don't-
bride
yeah.
are smoking crack.
Oh, that's
So-
interesting.
Yeah, and so, the issue is, look, there's a couple of, there's rules to live in the
Of course,
community.
I would think so.
Rule number one is to pay rent.
Pay rent.
Pay rent.
So this is free.
This is not free.
Huh. Huh.
There's nothing free.
Okay, all right, so
There's
that,
nothing.
to
The
live here,
government
you
does-
gotta wanna live here and you've gotta,
You gotta pay rent.
Support
Every
yourself.
month, come in and pay that rent.
Huh.
So you do it out of your SSI, SSDI,
right,
or
right,
Social
right, Social
Security,
Security,
or
whatever.
Veterans Benefits. Rule number two is, we say you must obey civil law. We don't make it, and we have no power to enforce that law. But if you're civilly disobedient, regardless, but mostly as a result of drug and alcohol use, you're gonna have a problem living in community, and you will be excommunicated at some point in
okay,
time.
okay.
But there's not very many of those. There's a lot of drug and alcohol activity.
Mhm.
That's a given. But it doesn't descend into civil disobedience.
Okay.
You know, and from a law enforcement, war on drugs point of view, we pay zero attention in this country to the user. Zero.
Good point.
And so you can't expect us, we have no way of searching and seizing, we don't have that right.
Right. And probably not the manpower or the desire to. Is that-
Well, zero desire. We don't want to be, these are the poorest users on the face of the planet
Right.
that have a problem. We want to try to help them with that problem, not exacerbate it by throwing them in jail.
Do people leave?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. We have about a 15% turnover every year. About 40%-ish of that is death.
Oh, wow, okay, sure, because you got such a low
Yeah.
life expectancy
Yeah,
too.
yeah, but we'll boot people out, or every now and then somebody might reconnect with family or move to a different housing model. That's
Sure.
fairly rare, but.
Sure. What else is out there for housing for homeless people besides Community First? I mean,
Well, there's
on
not-
any kind of a permanent basis.
Yeah, there's a number of agencies that are working that arena. Foundation Community is a great partner of ours. LifeWorks, which deals with the aged out foster care
Okay,
deal,
yeah.
have housing. Caritas is a big one out there. making great strides in the community. So there's a number. There's not enough because it's it's expensive to do all this.
It's got to be expensive.
$200 million.
Well, just the land cost alone would be
Yeah, there's ways to navigate your way around that deal.
You'll get government grants too?
Not much. I mean, for the first time ever, we got a $35 million commitment from Travis County through the ARPA funding, part of the COVID response deal, and that was really our first big effort into that arena.
Sure. All right, so we're going to...
But government's important to the... Yeah.
Well, I would think so. We've got a commitment here in Austin and other places too, because again, is the problem... It's growing, it seems like. Is the homeless problem growing?
Oh, sure.
Okay, I thought so. I mean, and it seems like it's going to grow more as more dysfunctionality within the family, as you said.
Yeah, I think the key is that I need to memorize this number, but the homeless population tracks relatively steady relative to the population growth.
Oh, okay, sure.
So if it's
again, if it's 0.1%, but the population grows, then the real numbers grow.
The real numbers grow.
Sure.
And so the question is can we drop that 1% down to 0.05 or something? Sure. Of a percent. And that's not the right number, but I mean that gives you perspective on homelessness remains relatively flat, but grows as our population grows.
That's really, I think, to an extent, maybe that's good news.
Yeah.
Because I think, most people can believe where they all coming from and why there's so many. And you think of Los Angeles or San Francisco or, again, Austin, Texas. I'm going to shift the gears a little bit. We got about 5 minutes left. And I want to talk about how some of our viewers and listeners could support your efforts, because we talked about calling or emailing Alan at mlf.org if you want to get a tour out there, which I think would be great. How can somebody support the cause? Because you've got a great cause and you're renowned for your cause, right?
Yeah, well, what we really want people to do is come out and see.
All right.
And
then they get inspired?
They get inspired, see how God's calling them, and come spend time out there. We have a kind of a phrase that there's no human gift that anybody has that can't be applicable to serving this population of people. So if you're a musician,
all right,
great. If you're a cook, awesome. If you're a woodworker, great. If you're a lawyer, you can come help us do end-of-life documents out there. We get the Young Lawyers Association out here.
Great.
That helps us do all the medical directives, power, all those things. And, so you name it, there's not a gifting out there that's not applicable to that. It's just whether the calling is there to come and serve with us. And then once the heart is there, and we have a phrase called the HP ratio, which is to the exponential power of G. It's H over P to the exponential power of G, which is heart over pocket to the exponential power of God equals unstoppable momentum. So if your heart gets in, your pocket's going to follow.
Right.
Along with...
And that's what'll happen.
All
right, so you've got a great website, mlf.org. Is that the primary website?
That's it.
All right, you can go there and find out more. If you're interested in leaving Mobile Loaves and Fishes money when you die, planned giving. You got a planned giving site there too, and you can go there and we'd be happy to help you with your will, your trust, of course, but there's some other things you can do to help that you won't need our help. The best thing you can do, the easiest thing you can do to make a gift to charity is with a beneficiary designation on an IRA or a 401k or life insurance. And you can put Mobile Loaves and Fishes as the primary contingent or half or 5%, 50%, whatever you want to do. And when you die, they get the money, and they get the money tax-free because it's a charity, and anybody else you leave that money to will pay taxes on all of it. And you don't need a lawyer to help you with that. So go to mlf.org, check out the website, check out the plan giving button, and that'll have all the language you need to include Loaves and Fishes in your will, your trust, or on the beneficiary designation on your retirement accounts or life insurance or annuities too. So there's a lot of ways you can give, and this is a problem that's not going away. We all want to cure cancer, all right? And I think we're making great strides in cancer and heart issues, which I've had a few of. We're making great strides in that. But homelessness is the word, I guess, is chronic. And you're the only guy that I've found and the only ministry I've heard of that really go into the heart of it and go into their heart to try to change their heart and change the heart of the people who work with you too.
Well, there's a lot of people that are in the canoe battling this pandemic,
And that's an interesting term you use, pandemic, a pandemic of homelessness.
pandemic of homelessness.
Last question.
Bigger than COVID.
Last question. The border is opening up. We're going to have a lot of undocumented folks coming in. Is that going to be an issue? Is that going to be anything that will affect homelessness here at all?
Well, that's probably one of the most confusing issues that we have, because when I drive around our community, like right now, we've got 51 acres under construction.
Wow.
Okay, across the street.
Yeah.
There's an army of men over there right now.
Sure. As we speak.
As we speak.
Sure.
And I would be willing to say that the overwhelming vast majority of them
Sure.
speak Spanish.
Right.
And these are good, hardworking family people. I will tell you, and I'm not sure what the population of Central Texas is, Travis County, Austin, Texas.
I'd say it's 1.5 million
in terms
people.
of, well, Hispanic.
Okay, sure.
I'm thinking it's 35%.
I think it's about right.
Okay?
Yeah.
12% of our population in the village is Hispanic.
Huh. Well, they seem to have,
They take care of their
they
families.
do take care of the
So what
families.
we're doing, and look, bad guys are gonna get through the sieve
Sure.
somehow.
Always have.
And we're gonna have
Always
to
have.
manage that. But 99.9% are good, hardworking, family-oriented, church-going people that wanna come and help us build our country. So, it seems to me that the Democrats and Republicans either want it this way because it raises so much money when we battle. You know, it's like, I think that the right and the left actually get together and go, this is what we're gonna do tomorrow.
We're going to send out letters to all our donors.
Yeah, and-
they're all going to get riled up. And I got to give
and
you money.
I think we're gonna
don't
beat
doubt
you
it.
in the amount of
They
money that.
all know the system, don't they? They
I
know, they know
think
push the right button and here comes the cash.
Yeah, you get rid of the
That's right.
system by
That's
fixing
right.
the thing, and then there's
Yeah.
no more money to raise. So I
No,
I
we're
don't
trying
know.
not to be cynical here.
Yeah, well, and I'm not a conspiracy theory guy, but
Well,
I'm frustrated because I don't know the answer to this deal. We need people. You can't hire people right now.
Right. It's-
We need people to build our country, and we got people that want to work. Let me tell you what, at 7 a.m. every single morning, this is what I hear. Beep, 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 beep. And these are a bunch of,
machinery and all that stuff's going.
they're going, man.
Yeah. All right. Wow. Thanks for that.
Yeah.
Thanks. It's very, very interesting stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Alan, for coming. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Brad.
Thanks for watching and listening. I want to show everybody this book. I gave a copy of this to Alan this morning. It's a book that we've got here available. It's available on Amazon. It's a Hard Day's Devotional Blessings for Bruised Boomers. It's a daily Christian devotional. It's I think it's inspiring. I think it's interesting, and it's something that we've gotten a lot of positive comments on. You can order this off of Amazon. A Hard Day's Devotional Blessings for Bruised Boomers. If we can help you here at Texas Trust Law with your will, your trust, a probate, a special needs, a loved one who needs a special needs trust, if you're concerned about asset protection or estate taxes, we do all that here, and we'd be happy to see you for a comprehensive consultation in Austin, Georgetown, Horseshoe Bay, Wimberley, or San Antonio. So let us know, we can help you there too. And don't forget to help Loaves and Fishes, MLF, mobileloavesfishes.org. Go there, check it out, maybe email Alan for a tour of Community First. It would be very fascinating. And then be sure to watch the next edition of the State of the Union. Thank you very much.